Okay, hello everyone. Just me, Jeff Donnelly, JP Donnelly 8 on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, bunch of different places. So, yesterday I just got a letter from the Springfield Police Department, and it's in regards to my internal affairs investigation that I filed, about Sergeant Eric Podersky lying under oath during the hearing, which you can actually listen to my cross-examination of him, where he even claims that they don't need search warrants. And and also the deputy chief Kent over there admitting that someone in the police department did not notify me that my license was suspended, as per law they're required to. But also, we have Deputy Chief Danielle or whatever, who I have filmed shredding documents out of my file and then doctoring other documents about my renewal. And that's after they sent back my original renewal. But when you have a deputy chief going in there and actually shredding paperwork out of a file on film, that's a major issue right there. So with all of that in mind, this right here is oh wow. What also needs to be brought to everyone's attention is that it was ruled on the police superintendent, Cheryl Clapprood, made this ruling on August 23rd, and it wasn't mailed out until August 30th, which it's kind of strange that they were sitting on this even, this ruling, for a week before sending it out. So basically, this is a form letter. I've seen copies of these letters before, but I'm going to read it to you. In regards to the complaint you filed on May 18th, 2023, AI number 23017, please be advised that the subsequent investigation reports were reviewed. In order for you to understand our internal investigation process, I give you some background. Through various sources, the Springfield Police Department receives a citizen's complaint. Based upon the complaint, I will order an investigation. That investigation is conducted by the Internal Investigation Unit or a supervisor in the affected employee's chain of command. Once again, the Internal Affairs Lieutenant is the same person who was the result of my hawker peddler's business license being denied, who failed to put down in my renewal that in his investigation that I was suitable for a gun license. It is then reviewed by the employee's commanding officer. Based upon facts brought forth in the investigation, the commanding officer makes a recommendation regarding the case. The case is then reviewed by a deputy police chief, who then makes a recommendation again based upon the facts brought forth in the case. The case is then brought for my review. I make a determination based upon the facts presented. I can accept, reject, or modify the recommendations of the commanding officer and the deputy chief. By contractual agreements and with sworn personnel, I have a certain amount of time within which I can act regarding disciplinary matters. So, what information was Police Superintendent Clapprood actually given in this matter? That's something I'm kind of wondering, because we have a captain who trespassed me from the police department and internal affairs after I videotaped Deputy Danielle, RuPaul Daniel, whatever his name is, shredding documents and reporting that. We have a lieutenant, who you can also see in the video, confronting me very aggressively when I went down to internal affairs to actually report that. We have Deputy Chief Kent, who stated that his suspension of my license was the last thing he did before he went on medical leave, and had no idea why no one in his office sent me the suspension letter. And was surprised that I was arrested, and read the law. Well, after I made him read it, you could watch that in like one of my videos, my cross-examination of him. You know, like which is very, you know, I don't know, like after everything else happened, it's very like suspect. And then you have another deputy chief, RuPaul Daniel, who was shredding documents out of the file. So she's basing her opinion on the deputy chiefs. That's 2 deputy chiefs out of how many? There's not many deputy chiefs in Springfield. And a lieutenant, who is Rosario, who's the internal affairs guy who was part of my whole Hawker Peddlers not being renewed. And then also you got Sergeant Eric Podersky, who, once again, that's a sergeant, so he's a supervisor himself. Okay. And then it goes like this. After careful consideration of the results of this investigation, it was determined that in this case, there were no violations of the Springfield Police Department policies or procedures, and the case was unfounded. The Springfield Police Department will take no further actions. Please be assured that the Springfield Police Department takes serious allegations made against its members. We therefore appreciate your taking the time to bring your concerns to our attention. Sincerely, Cheryl C. Clapprood, Police Superintendent. So this is what she's saying right here. She has no issue at all with her deputy chief shredding official documents. Shredding official documents is actually a felony. But she has no issue with her deputy chief shredding official documents. Okay. She has no issue with a lieutenant aggressively approaching a citizen who's only asking to be directed to internal affairs. Remember, these are on video. Lieutenant Rosario, on video, which is posted, stated to me when I mentioned they ruled on it, my renewal in January, never notified me, never notified the state. I went to the police department, and this was in June, and that they said that was denied in January. After I had gone to internal affairs, law department, everyone else. He even said that that was not normal or right. Well, not normal, because he would have been notified if it would have happened to other people. He also didn't make mention while he was doing an investigation that he was the one that denied my Hawker Peddler's permit too, you know. I was suitable to have a firearm license, but not suitable to sell a book I wrote exposing corruption. Not suitable to renew my business license to go door-to-door selling a book, but I was suitable to run for mayor of Springfield, going door-to-door against signatures. Gotta love it. Eric Podersky. Sergeant Eric Podersky. Watch the video of my cross-examination of him. Listen to it. He testified that he did not need a search warrant to verify that firearms were in Massachusetts. The same firearms that I had notified the Springfield Police Department several weeks, about a month prior, that they were going to Vermont, that they were going to be in Vermont. When he called me up on the phone, I explained the firearms have been removed to Vermont. He stated under oath that he did not need a search warrant, and that he decided to just let the courts handle it. Anyone with any knowledge of law enforcement understands that if you're going to file charges against someone for them having property that they're not supposed to have, you have to have proof that the property is under their control. Or, in this case, because I was legal in Vermont, that the firearms said property was in Massachusetts. The simplest way to do this is to actually get a search warrant. And that's the purpose of a search warrant, is to get evidence. So when he took the stand and said he did not need to get a search warrant, that is actually perjury. That's another crime. He said he reviewed Detective Shink's report and verified it all. And then said it was no big deal that Detective Shink mentioned that I owned many, many machine guns. automatic firearms, including 3 AK-47s, when legally speaking, technically speaking, I own 0 AK-47s, and 2 of those alleged AK-47s were antique Tokarev pistols, handguns, antique handguns from the 1930s. You know, like, when you look at this, all you're seeing is police corruption. And when you have the police commissioner coming out and saying this, either she was not provided with the information, or she is a POS, and everyone knows what a POS is, and belongs in prison herself. It's only a couple weeks until I get to have her on the stand, and I get to ask her questions during my petition for judicial review. And that's because Deputy Chief Daniel, when he doctored the paperwork, doctored it and put her name on it. So, yeah, let's see how this is going to happen. Let's see how this is going to roll. I'm doing everything I can legally here in order to do everything right. I'm taking proper steps and everything else. Now, see, that's how I fight back against corruption. I make videos, I write books, I'm the author of Emotion and Political Repression, and they don't like that. Because I write books, I post videos, and I file lawsuits and I file legal actions. Even though I know for the most part that none of my legal actions are going to go anywhere because, once again, localized corruption. Because the mistake I made at 25 years old was to take out papers to run for the United States Congress as a common sense Republican. Before that, my life was cake. You know, I did the college, I got the career with DYS, Department of Youth Services. You know, like, my life was good. Now I can't even use my college degrees. My former employment is moot. And why? Because I speak up and I say how it is and they don't like that. Okay. Have a good day, guys. Bye.